Am I live? Can anybody see me? Hello? 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 Alright. Hello? Alright, we got a chat box open. Still not quite sure if anybody can see me. So, let me see. Alright. If any of you can see me right now, I'm trying to start up a chat session to get some of you guys involved. Let me see. Mm-hmm. 0 viewers. Joy. Hello? No viewers. Oh, we got a viewer. Alright, there should be a chat box. Hello? Is it okay? We got a viewer now. You may find that there is a chat box on the side that you can post your questions. So go ahead and just send a couple chats in there. This is my first time doing it, so I'm not completely positive how it's going to work, okay? And Michael Sock is not here right now. That's because he's on his way. He just got off work, and he should be here soon. All right. Okay, it keeps going on and off, 1 to 0 viewers. I'm not quite sure if it's like somebody's testing something or what. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a question real quick that I got a couple minutes ago actually on Google+. And if I find it, he says, yeah. All right, it says, this is from JK space K. He says, how come when I am doing the lightsaber effect, the blade is way off from where I want it? Not even doing the offset will fix it. It happens with photos too. Okay, this is kind of a different question because I've never really had, I've always been able to offset it. If I can't seem to get, he's talking about the lightsaber tutorial, which was episode 1 of Premiere Prep. Back then it was kind of called Film World, but it's Premiere Prep now. So, yes, he's talking about the lightsaber episode, and the thing about it, I've always, if I've ever had the lightsaber being way off, it's because A, my video is actually offset, like my background plate, or B, you could either have imported the wrong footage, okay, or there is a third option. The third option is maybe you're working with, you didn't set your resolution properly. This could be a big problem for you, especially because default in Blender, you have a standard resolution that it opens up with. This resolution is 1920 by 1080 or Full HD, not Ultra HD, Full HD. Okay, but it's always set to 50%. I'm not exactly sure why that is. They always start up the program with 50%. That's the default. But just if you're really having it that far off, it may be that your resolution is not set to the proper resolution, because like your render resolution can be totally different than your actual resolution. Tell you what, I'm going to do a screencast of my monitor to show this to you. Okay, now I'm sorry if the quality is a little bad. It's because this is an older webcam. I really need to buy a new one, and also the internet here is a little bad. Okay, but let me go ahead and do a screencast. There we go. I'm gonna have to open up Blender so I can tell it to screencast from Blender. And I would really like to know if you guys have found the chat box. Because if not, that's where most of our questions are supposed to come. And like I've said, this is my first live broadcast, so alright, there we go, Blender. And share. Alright, so as you can see here we have Blender. Alright, now over here you notice it's 1920 by 1080. That is what the normal viewer is, okay? Well, we want to change this to 100% because automatically it's only 50, okay? So make sure that the resolution is at the proper percent. Because, see, let me try to find a good background image. In fact, we need that. Alright, I'm going to find a background image so we can just kind of, I'll show you exactly what it is the compositor does when it's working with mixed resolutions. Because, see, the Blender compositor on default does not rescale resolutions. So there are two ways you could go about it. Let me see. First I have to find a good video footage. Let me see. Here we go. Just find one of these. Okay. If I had a viewer node, this has been a big question I've actually gotten a lot. if you go and add a viewer node, first I hold down Shift and drag, okay? And then I can just pull this down to there. Now, the thing is, if I just do a alpha over, oh, that's weird. See, Blender does that too. It automatically just throws it way off. Okay. If I want it on top, it has to be on bottom. So I want the bottom. There we go. And convert pre-multiplied. Now, as you can see here, I've got 1080 footage in here, 1920 by 1080 footage, but it's only 50%, okay? Or actually, it's not 50% anymore. Let me change this to 50% to show you. Oops. Okay, so if I render this out, all right, this is half of 1920 by 1080. You know, I'm not even sure if you guys can hear me. Okay, yes, you can. All right, this is half of 1920 by 1080. And also, got to go down to shading. Oops. Go down, shading, transparent. There we go. All right, so as you can see here, the cube we just added is kind of small. Now, why is this? That's because our render resolution is 50%. This could very well be your problem. Because, see, if I change this to 100% of 1920 by 1080 and render this out, see how it's a different size? So the original question was asking, here, see, the original question was asking, why is off from your actual where you drew it on screen? I think very well if you tried offsetting it and that didn't work, it very well could be JK space K that your resolution is not set properly for when you need to actually render your lightsaber blade. And this has happened to me before. I've pulled out a lot of hair trying to figure out exactly what it was that was going wrong. And it just turns out I had to set the resolution to the proper nothing like water. But I just had to set the resolution to the proper resolution to match my video. So that's way number one that you can go about it. Okay? That was, you know, just change your entire resolution. But what if you want to work with half of 1080 by 1920? This is very simple. Let me change back to my screencast here. Alright, so over here you can see we just plug them in together with an alpha over node. Very basic, okay? But say I do want my entire thing to be 50% of 1080, so half of full HD. Well, as you can see, it's really zoomed in on the background plate. This is a super simple fix. Hit Shift A on your keyboard, and this will bring up your options for to add all of your different nodes. Okay, and so in here we want to go to Distort. Up there we go to Scale, Add Scale, and change the type to Render Size. See how that scaled down the entire image? We'll see now if we render it, the background plate is in its proper position. Or rendering or working with your lightsaber. I know I took a long time to explain that, but it very well could be that you just don't have your resolution. So go ahead and give that a try. All right. Now Michael Saka is still not here, but we can go on a little bit more and hopefully he'll show up. Okay. If we let me try a thing. I'm not sure. Can any of you guys get this chat? If you can't see any of the chats I'm putting on here, just go to the Google Plus page and try to find it there and try to view this broadcast through Google Hangouts, because I think this might be a Hangouts only thing. You have to have the downloaded Hangouts thing. Here, let me show you. Let me see. Screencast. Higher screen. Okay. I've got dual monitors right now, so that's why it's showing two different screens. But as you can see, this is Google Hangouts and everything. So, you know, you've got all these. This is actually installed on my computer. I think you may need that. Okay, so if you want to actually comment and chat, I think you might need to go to the Google Play. Or I could try this. Hang on. Ooh, Dominic Small just sent me a message. And thank you, Dominic Small, for viewing and sending that chat. I'm going to go ahead and invite a few other people. Let me see if I can. Search for people. Let me see. JK space K. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm not really sure how to set this up. I'll get to your question just now, Dominic. But first off, thank you for tuning in. That's great. But go ahead, if you want to chat with me, go ahead and try to chat with filmworld96@gmail.com. That is my email. Just open up Google Hangouts and try to send me a message through filmworld96@gmail.com. FILMWORLD96@gmail.com. Okay, so Dominic, you just asked a question. Hi, Filmworld, do you have any tips on filming in a public place? Well, I've done this a couple times, not a ton to be honest. The first time I did it was probably at the zoo when I did the aspect ratio episode. I'm not sure if you have seen that one. Have you seen the aspect ratio, Dominic? Go ahead and ask me in the chat. Okay, but in the aspect ratio episode, I was walking around a local zoo of mine, and basically, I'll be honest, I didn't have permission. A lot of times, I've never really had to get permission because a lot of the places I've filmed have been secluded, or I was invited because it's somebody's home. So I haven't had to actually go out and get permission. Hopefully soon, I have a project in mind that I want to get permission to shoot in a live place, but I'm not completely sure how to go about that. I still need to learn that, because most of the places, like I said, I have filmed by being either invited to somebody's house to do it, or like a friend's house, or I just shot where no one was around and hoped that I didn't get routed out. Okay, but hang on just a second. This is really tough work, actually. You know, it dries out your throat and you just end it. But the way I would recommend it, it depends on where you're shooting. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot that I've actually done myself. Now, I did do it at that zoo. Basically, the way I did it at that zoo, it was actually relatively crowded that day. So I would find areas, be it on a small path going beside the reptile exhibit or something like that, and my sister would hold the camera, and I just held the microphone and started shooting. Here, let me see. Can you hear? Okay, I'm just doing a little bit of clarifying to make sure you guys can actually see me and hear me as well. So if you, Dominic, if you can hear me right now, please say that as well. Okay? Excellent. He just said, yes, great. All right. So thank you all guys for tuning in. And so does that answer your question, Dominic? And again, you can always answer me through the chat box. I'll let him type that up. Okay, but so, yeah, filming in a public place I haven't really done, but you need to contact the highest person in charge. I would recommend, be it a manager of the store, the owner of the place, of course, if you can. Just get the best permission if possible. All right, so I'm sorry, I haven't really done it with permission. I've gone places and filmed in secluded areas, so if you can, find a secluded area and try to be running and gun. Because if you've got a whole lot of gear set up and all of a sudden you just realize hey, I gotta leave. There's a bunch of people around. I gotta get out of here. Then, a little bit of an issue. You got a bunch of gear out. You're all set up and ready to go, and it just takes a long time to pack. And you gotta leave. So try to keep it run and gun. Like when I shot that episode at that zoo, there was a shoulder rig with a mic plugged into it, and that was pretty much it. Okay. Oh, he's typing. Excellent. And real quick, I thought I would mention this. This is the... So that does answer your question. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry I couldn't answer it any better. I've got a couple of projects in mind where I'm definitely going to be asking for some permission to film places. And always, if you have a friend, like if you know someone who has a farm or a property with backwoods, like have any of you seen the video me and Michael Saka did for the Film Riot contest? If so, send me a chat. And remember, the email is filmworld96@gmail.com. Alright, so have any of you seen that? Like Dominic, have you seen that? I'll let that come in. But, and again, Michael Saka's not here yet, but he will be showing up soon, and we're going to get into a lot more fun stuff. And remember, keep sending chats, and we're going to be asking questions. I'm thinking this will probably go on for another 30-45 minutes. Alright? But this is Transformers Blu-ray DVD/digital copy combo pack. Alright? This is a current giveaway right now. Film World is doing their first, or our first, I guess I should say, giveaway. Okay? You can win this, and all you have to do is subscribe and then post the video. If you go to the YouTube homepage and find the video where I'm announcing the giveaway, just click subscribe, and then you can go and post that video on your Google Plus and or Facebook page with the hashtag FilmWorld Blu-ray. All right, there's no dashes or anything, just all lowercase hashtag. I gotta keep talking a little bit more straight, but all lowercase hashtag FilmWorld Blu-ray. Alright, no spaces or anything. Alright, so just find that announcement video, copy and paste it on there, and click subscribe on the YouTube channel. And also, if you're watching this... Oh, thank you, Dominic. But if you are watching this right now, go ahead and share. I think there might be a URL. Again, this is the first time I've ever done this. Actually, this appears to be the URL right here. Like, there we go. That's... For the people who are chatting right now, that is the URL to the current live broadcast. So if you want to share that on your Google Plus and or Facebook page, please do. Alright, and I'm sorry the video's a little choppy. Here, I need to text Michael. But I'm sorry if the video's a little choppy again, because again, I'm shooting on a old webcam and the internet is a little lacking. Alright. So, let me see. I believe Dominic had another question. No, not as of yet. All right, so I'm gonna go through the questions I've gotten lately on the YouTube channel. Whoops. This is an old phone. All right. And I know this is taking a while, but this should get Michael Saka here. Alright, there we go. So, let me find a good question I've gotten on the YouTube channel. Let me see, there was one recently on the how to make a lightsaber blade. And let me find it. Just got an announcement. Hello, join me. Thank you very much, Cameron Brown. Let me see. Yeah, you posted on your Google Plus page. Thank you very much. I did notice that. All right, so let me find that question. I know this is taking a little while. I'm sorry about that. And also, Mr. Brown, if you will, go ahead and start a chat with me. Open up Google Hangouts, and then, I think that's Michael right now. Yep, Michael says. All right. I need to change that. But it looks like Michael will not be here for a little while. If he's able to show up at all, I'm sorry. He's got a lot to do. So let me find that question. I know I'm kind of not stalling, but I am trying to find comments. Let me see. Okay. Okay, we got this from Harley in the Sky. This was early this morning. Oh, I can reply now. For some reason, if you haven't gotten a reply from me on some of my videos when you asked a comment, that very well could be because the way YouTube is, I'm able to answer about 95%, but there's just like this 5% that I can't seem to click reply to the post. It's kind of weird. But Harley in the Sky says, can I get some help on this? Blender is starting to me off, and each time I make a mistake, I cannot find an undo button, and Control-Z is ing me off. Little language, okay. When it seemingly does nothing. I have a laptop, so that means no middle clicker, and none of this number pad bull. Alright, I have to hunt it down, and Blender is so anti-friendly. Help, question mark, SOS. I think she meant exclamation point. It's a question mark. And then it says, kill me? That's a bit drastic. I've never come across any software where I've just felt that annoyed by it to where I would ask somebody to kill me. Don't worry, I'm not doing that. Alright, so let's answer this question to the best of my abilities. Alright, so basically, you're having a problem with Control-Z. I have never had a problem with Control-Z. This very well could be because you're changing views all the time. Now, I don't think it looks like it's a girl, so I'll say she. It doesn't seem like you really specified what the project was you're doing. Were you working in a 3D viewport? Were you working in the compositor? Movie clip editor? What were you working in? I don't know. So if she could specify that, that would just be a lot better. But Control-Z, I've never had a problem with, as I've already stated, and again, I repeat myself. I do that a lot. But what I would recommend, if you're having a problem just undoing, or number pad, this is a great little tip for you. If you use Blender and you don't have a number pad, you can do one of two things. You can buy a little USB number pad that clicks into your through USB port, and you've got a whole number pad right there. I've got one of these, and I use it on my laptop, and that is so helpful when I use my laptop, which I really do because it's not very powerful. But if you need a number pad, that is a great option. The other option, which I haven't really had to try, is if you go into user preferences. Allow me to show you this. Let's start a screencast. And alright, so if you go into user preferences, I believe it's in interface. Here it is. Emulate number pad. 1 to 0 keys act as the number pad ones use. Okay, so if you click emulate number pads, if we go into 3D viewport, as you can see, I can click 1. I'm doing this on my keyboard, not on the number pad area. I'm doing this all on those keys that are at the top of my normal keyboard. And so it's doing everything that the number pad does. So if you have a laptop and no number pad, clicking emulate number pad inside of the user preferences could be very useful for you. And let me just make sure you guys can actually... Oh! You can't see that. Okay, hang on just a minute. For some reason the screencast is not allowing me to show you that one. So let me... It's just showing one window. Let me change this to user preferences. Alright, so inside user preferences, there's this emulate number pad option, as you can see here. So if I click that, I can go into the 3D viewport and use my keys at the top of my screen to do all these different number pad operations. Alright, and this is really nice if you're on a laptop. Really nice. So it's just inside of user preferences, emulate number pad. Alright, so that is a question answered and a question done. Alright. And there we go. So remember, if you would like to join in on the chat, if you are just now viewing this, if you would like to join in and ask me questions and have them answered live, open up Google Hangouts or Google+, either one will work really, I believe, and try to chat with me. The email is filmworld96@gmail.com. That is the email in which you can reach me at and chat with me live. Okay? And also, if you want to, on the Google Plus page, we have this live broadcast posted. So if you want to just send me a question there, like send me your email, I will try to add you through my Google Hangouts. So I'll find your email on my Google Hangouts and contact you. So if you want to join in on the conversation live, just send me your email in one of the comments, or even you can email me. Either one of those will work, and I will go into Google Hangouts and find you, and you can ask me questions live. Alright, so next question comes from, let me see, I think there might be another one inside of the YouTube. Yeah. Okay, VFX Blender says, I'm glad to see someone else using Blender for visual effects. That is actually not very common. I've been surprised because Blender has a great VFX pipeline. Ooh, here's something we can definitely talk about. How many of you have heard of the new compositing program, open source compositing program, that is making quite a splash? Like, quite a splash. Called Natron. Hang on. Alright, so... Oh, okay, so Natron is making a big splash in open source video editing and compositing. Why is that? Okay, there's a program called Nuke. This is $4,000 for the minimalistic version. If you want to go very minimal and get the basic version, I mean, I say basic, it can do a ton with the basic version. Like, the basic version can do almost anything you'll ever need, but then again, you can upgrade to the pro version. So, if you ever are needing a node-based compositing system that is very professional, more than likely, if you go into the Hollywood industry, you're going to be using Nuke. So yes, Dominic Small has heard of Natron, and again, please join in on the chat and ask me questions live, and if you want to send me your email address to either my email or through the Google Plus page or wherever, just try to send me your email. I will try to add you into the Google chat. Oop. Alright. It's loading. And I'm sorry, this internet is really running kind of slow. Alright, so Cameron Brown, I have your email, it looks like. Hang on. Alright, let me try to find you. Alright, so Natron, I'm sorry that I'm kind of choppy. This is my first live event, so you'll have to excuse some of the unprofessionalism. But Natron is making a big splash. I think I have it installed, and again, I'm kind of going off. Let's see. I do not. Alright. Oh well, let me see if I can find a good screenshot of it. Okay, so why is it that Natron is making such a splash? Well, that is because it is an open source Nuke. And Nuke is one of the #1 visual effects compositing programs in all of Hollywood. Iron Man 2, Star Trek, Avengers, just to name a few. I mean, there are tons of visual effects houses inside of Hollywood that use Nuke. Alright, and I found a good screencast. Hey, and what do you know? It uses the Tears of Steel footage. And that was a good short film. Except for the story. The story was kind of off. Alright, let me see. Can't seem to find my... Oh, I'll just go ahead and do the entire screen. Alright, so as you can see, this is Natron. Okay? The reason why Natron is making such a big splash, like I said, is because it is a open source Nuke. Okay? Now, I tried it. Honestly, I am kind of liking Blender's version of compositing better. Okay? Blender, it makes a lot more sense to me. Natron, it's an amazing project, and I would really like to support it. I mean, it seems like it's going in a good direction, but Natron is really very beta, because they haven't even gotten out of beta, but it is still beta. And there are definitely glitches that make me say, wow, is that beta, when it comes to motion tracking. And I tried to make a lightsaber blade in there, and it wouldn't work. I don't know why. But nothing like water. But Natron, while it's very revolutionary in the open source industry, I'm not switching to it as of yet. I like the way Blender's compositing system works. I've gotten very used to it. I came from using, let me see, here we go. This was my first compositing program ever. It's a program called Composite Lab Pro from the awesome company FX Home. Now, if you're on Linux, like I am, unfortunately, you can't run FX Home's products. Now, I tried running this through Wine, and it would have worked, but I had already activated them, so I couldn't activate them a second time. That was a bummer. But these two programs, FX Lab Pro and Composite Lab Pro, these were my first. So it's layer-based, which is a lot like After Effects, if you're unfamiliar with the difference between layer-based and node-based. Okay? Now, why do I like Blender's form of compositing better? Well, it actually seems a lot more... I know this is funny to say about Blender, because Blender's not really been notorious for this. It seems a lot more user-friendly to me. Because it's like whatever you put in there in that row, that's how you make it, and you can always composite. It's almost like working with layer-based compositing horizontally with a bunch of lines connecting them. And of course, it can get a lot more complex than that. But I don't know, just Natron's form of compositing, or I guess Nuke's as well, I don't really like it that much. I'm sorry. The Natron project is awesome, but I think I'm going to be sticking with Blender because it just feels, I'm more used to it, it feels a lot more comfortable. But hopefully I will be doing some tutorials on it. If you guys would like to see Natron tutorials, I will try to learn the software as good as I can and do some tutorials on it. Now, it had a great keyer. Its green screening keyer was awesome. Like, very surprisingly good. But the issue is I couldn't even export that green screen shot I did. I did all that compositing, and it was a great green screen shot, like really good. And it wouldn't export. Natron just crashed every single time. And that started to really annoy me. So I just went into Blender and did the shot in there. But once I get out of beta and it becomes a lot more stable, Natron seems like it'll be something great to go for. Okay, so I've had a couple of questions regarding some of my equipment, like what mic do I use and what camera do I use and lights and stuff. So for this live event, I did an episode a while back about um, how I make an episode. Now that would be probably, if you want a little bit more in depth, that would probably be a great thing to go for if you want to just see my equipment and everything. But I'll go ahead and talk about some of these. This is a Audio Technica ATR 6550. Okay, and this is a great shotgun microphone. Um, it's only 55 bucks on Amazon, brand new. So if you want a pretty decent shotgun mic, but you don't have a whole lot of money, I would highly recommend this Audio Technica. And for those of you who might be interested, it is Audio Technica ATR 6550. And it's just been absolutely wonderful. I love this microphone. It came with pretty much everything you need, like, not this, but it came with this little mic attachment, stand attachment. And it's great because I can take a PVC plug with 1/4 thread and just screw it right in. And I'm able to mount this to any rig I make, like my DIY shoulder rig or a caged rig that I recently made for the shoot. In fact, I'm going to name a couple more of my equipment, and then I'm going to get into the project me and Michael Saka just did for the Film Riot Steven Spielberg Challenge. Alright, so real quick, this is my camera. This is the Canon Vixia HF-R40. For its price point and camcorders and everything, this is actually a very good little camera. The thing that really sold me on it is it's got, you can't really see that, but here and here it has microphone input and headphone output, which means as I'm recording I can have a mic going directly into there. I thought, wow, that is awesome. It was a little bit more expensive by, like, I think 25 or 30 bucks to the runner-ups like the Sony or the Panasonic and stuff, but it's a great camera, and I thought that that audio plug-in that this camera has would just be amazing and help me so much. Yeah, it would be helpful, but the thing is, I just can't actually record good audio on here. In fact, I thought I was having a problem with my microphone, but it turns out it was the camera. Lately, for Premiere Prep episodes, I've been recording with this. It is a Radio Shack lavalier microphone, and the model is the 33-3013. So this is a great lavalier microphone, and it costs 30 bucks or something like that, so it's not a bad price. And lavalier is also the tie clip mic, you know, that you wear right here, but without the wire exposed, because that looks really unprofessional. But this has been an awesome microphone. I have used it on probably the past 6 or 7 episodes straight. In fact, on Open Sourced Filmmaking, I'm not sure how many of you have been watching that. On Open Sourced Filmmaking, I did the entire, or both of the episodes, entirely with that Radio Shack clip-on mic. Okay, now, I would not recommend, if you could stay away from it, using a lavalier microphone as a shotgun mic type replacement, because while you can get it a little bit cheaper, I would recommend you save up a little bit more money and get something like the Audio Technica ATR 6550. That's a mouthful. But if you spend just a little bit more money and get a shotgun mic, you can have somebody operating a boom pole for your entire shoot, which is so much better than a lavalier mic. Alright, so that's just real quick, a couple of my microphones and my camera. Now, I would like to get a T3i, a Canon T3i, because there's the Magic Lantern firmware upgrade, which is free, and it is absolutely phenomenal. And the T3i has great image quality as it is, and a swivel monitor, all sorts of stuff. The T3i is just a great overall camera, and I really want to get it soon, but unfortunately, money doesn't come by free. Alright, so I did not use this camera for the shoot of our Film Riot contest video. Alright, what did I use? I used a Nikon D3100. I borrowed this from a friend, and I would just like to say thank you to the friend who borrowed it. I'm not quite sure if I should say his name. I didn't get permission for that, so just to be safe, I'm not going to say his name. But I'd just like to say thank you, if you ever come across viewing this, to the guy who lent me the camera, the Nikon D3100 that we used for that shoot. And it worked great. Thing is, though, I had never used that camera before, so there are a few things that went wrong. If you saw the video that I did for the Film Riot Steven Spielberg Monday Challenge, you may notice it's not HD. Why is this? I feel stupid for this, because it really is kind of a rookie mistake, but I'd never used the camera before, so that's kind of a good alibi. But when I turned on the camera, went into settings, and made sure the resolution was at 1080, I turned off the camera, then started setting up the rest of the set, or location. Okay, so then I come to actually film, and I'm filming the entire thing, turning the camera on and off. Well, it turns out on the Nikon D3100, it appears, I should have probably played with this a little bit more, but it appears that on the D3100, if you turn off the camera once, then it automatically resets the resolution, which means I was shooting at standard definition. So the entire video had to be edited and everything in standard definition. That made it very hard for motion tracking, color correction, the whole thing. Alright, so I actually have some behind-the-scenes footage, or not really behind-the-scenes. Let me just kind of go over the production of that video. And judging isn't until a couple days from now, Monday. So don't know till Monday. But so if you haven't seen the Jurassic Park After Credits video, my second channel I just started called Micah Master Studios. It's on YouTube as well. You can go there, and that will be where you'll find it. Just go onto YouTube and type in Micah Master Studios in the search, and it should come up. It's a guy sitting down and a velociraptor looking right in his face. Yeah, Steven Spielberg. I had to do Jurassic Park, or me and Michael, because we did it together, and it was really fun. And I learned a lot, and we're going to be going over a lot of this more on Premiere Prep and Michael's coming up show. Hopefully Michael's show will be coming soon. We've both been really busy lately, but hopefully Let's Film Some Stuff will be activated within the next few weeks. But here's a little bit of raw footage and stuff of the shoot. Let me change the view type to my screen. Alright, so here's all my footage, and I've got, after I did the nonlinear editing inside of Kdenlive, I had to export it so that I could edit each clip individually. Alright, then after I've edited it, I just put it into my edited folder. Now, unfortunately, Google Hangout, let me see this. Okay, I'm going to go over this shot for you. This shot, let me change it real quick, and here we go. This shot right here was kind of a fun shot to edit, because I was trying to figure out how can I make him look dazed, because he just had his arm ripped off by a velociraptor. So I really wanted to figure out how can I make it just look like, cameras being augmented, like he just really feels bad. Well, all I did was inside of Blender, let me see if I can find that project file actually. File Manager. As you can see, I'm using Ubuntu Studio on my computer. Well, actually, it's webcam right now. But I'm using Ubuntu Studio on my computer now. I was using the normal Ubuntu distribution. But I switched to Ubuntu Studio because I was having some problems with the Unity desktop. It kept crashing on me, and that was not good. Okay, so this shot was actually a very simple node structure. Alright, and again, there it is in standard definition because I didn't have HD. Alright, so basically I have my original footage, then I did a lens distortion. This is a great little node if you want to just do some warping. You could also probably, the GoPro, it does this thing where it records almost in a bubble type environment. You might be able to correct that with this lens distortion node. So if you just use this, you can probably correct that to make it a flat image. I don't have a GoPro, so I can't test that, but if you guys have a GoPro, go ahead and test that. I'd love to see if that works. To just shoot with a GoPro, use lens distortion, and flatten the actual GoPro image. Alright, so after lens distortion, that's really all I had to do, because that added all the streaks and everything. Then I put my black bars, my aspect ratio, on top of that, and that completed that shot. So it was probably the most basic shot in the entire piece. Now, differently, to make it a little bit more sickening. If I had HD footage, I could have gone a lot further than I did. Unfortunately, I had standard definition, which I've mentioned already. I keep repeating myself over and over and over again. But if I had HD footage, what I would have done is I would have tried to like track his nose and then bring in the footage, like zoom in on it. Then after I've got his nose tracked, I could get the camera to move on that single point, so his nose is always in the center. I'm really taking this from a effect that I saw Ryan Conley do, where he made somebody look really sick. This idea came from that, but I'm trying to implement it with Blender, which is a lot different than After Effects, which is what he used. Alright, so like I would track his nose, zoom in the entire footage, and get the camera to move on the nose. Then I would add some blurring on the sides and some zooming in and out. It just really like pulse the video, make it really feel kind of sickening. And that would have been a whole lot more awesome than what I had to do, but resolution did not allow. Now here's something interesting for you. The resolution of that video was only 640 by 480, or standard definition. This camera shoots at 1080p, and I would have loved to have HD, but the thing is, I am glad I did not shoot with this camera, because even though that video was only 640 by 480, it had better image quality than this does. Why is that? Allow me to explain. This webcam that I'm using right now to shoot this live, yeah, it's 640 by 480, okay? And I'm going to be closing up in about 5-6 minutes, okay? So we'll be done in about 5-6 minutes. But this camera is 640 by 480, okay? Now, take that footage and compare it to the footage that was used in the Monday challenge video. There is a lot of difference. It's not just resolution. If you're going out to buy a new camera, don't just look at the resolution. Don't say, oh man, it's got 4K. Oh, I've got 4K video. Look, more than resolution is what matters. Okay? Whoa, we've got a lot more viewers now. It just went up. Probably because a lot of you guys might be in the not Central Standard Time, but what's the one right next to me that New York City is in? I am blank. Eastern. A lot of you might be in Eastern Time Zone. So you probably thought it was 3:30. No, wait, that'd make you guys later. I'm confused. Anyway, back to what the subject is. I would rather have good 720 video than I would 1080. Because clarity, image quality, color, everything is more important than resolution. And that Film Riot Monday Challenge video that I just did with Michael Saka, me and Michael Saka did, is a great example of that. Because that Canon D30, Nikon D30-100 shot better image quality than this does at 640 by 480. Now, again, you want to go for the best resolution you can, so if you can get full HD, that's the best. Well, of course, 4K. But if you can go for a higher resolution that still has good image quality, go for it. But because clarity is very important as well, like, compared to that video, the video on this camera, that standard definition footage actually looked almost as clear, in fact, maybe even clearer than 1080p video on here. Okay, so yeah, don't only look for resolution. The number of pixels high by the number of pixels to the side is not all that matters. Okay, you also want to worry about the clarity of it, how sharp the image is, how good the colors are, and also in that video, this is another problem that I didn't really think about much because I already had enough problems that we made on set to not even worry about this one. But I didn't set the white balance, so everything was blue, which that really stunk. But with some creative color correcting, I was able to fix that. And even still, there were some blue issues, but color correction is another subject, which we could get into in the future on Premiere Prep. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close it up now. Thank you guys very much for watching. It has been absolutely fun. This is our first live broadcast, so it was a little bit different. I'm going to try to find better programs to do live broadcasting. I'm going to try to find out better ways to chat with you guys. And do not forget, right now, the Transformers Blu-ray DVD / digital combo pack the giveaway is going on right now. So if you go onto the Film World YouTube channel, you will find a video where I did an announcement for this, and you can win this for absolutely free. All you have to do is click subscribe and share this on your Google Plus and or Facebook page, and you have to have the hashtag FilmWorld Blu-ray in there. Alright, so that's how I'll find you guys and know that somebody entered. So if you would like to enter this, win this, go ahead and follow the instructions. And of course, you can find that video on the Google Plus, on the YouTube channel. All right. And also, if you share on Google Plus and Facebook, that means 2 entries for you. So just a little tip for you: if you would like to have a better chance of winning that, share it on your Google Plus and Facebook page. All right. So that pretty much concludes it. This has been a great hour talking to you guys, answering some questions from comments, and of course had Dominic Small chatting with me. Again, I would love to chat with more of you guys. It seems like the chat system didn't really work out too well. I'll figure that out by the time I do this again. All right, thank you very much for watching. Till next time. I'm sorry Michael Saka could not be here, but until next time, I am your host, Micah Pendleton. Remember, dream big, but pay small. Catch you next time. And I'm stopping the broadcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bye.